Hello, broadcasters. Welcome to episode 161 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name is Geige. I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Doing good. It's been a good week. Excited about some of the recent releases and to chat about them with you folks. For anyone new here, Dan and I are the founders of StreamYard. We do these town halls every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and we do them for a few reasons. One is to stay in tune with all of you, go through the same flow like you all do with your own shows. Two is to answer any of your questions. So if there's anything you'd like us to touch on tonight, feel free to leave it in the chat. We'll do our best to get to them. And then I always mention the three pillars of StreamYard, which are ease of use, stability, and professional stream. So if you're about those three things, StreamYard is the tool for you. Lots of people hanging out tonight from all over the world. Top from Thailand, awesome. We got New York and Columbus, Ohio, Orlando, very cool. Before I forget, we have lots of awesome shows from our team. We got the Spotlight series, the second Thursday of every month at 8 p.m. Eastern, which is a show all about you. Dana and Kelsey highlight people from the StreamYard community and how they're having success with live streaming. So it's great for you're looking for some inspiration to understand how other people are using live streaming, or you want to be featured yourself. Definitely check that out. We have YouTube channel reviews with Dee and Daniel the second Saturday of every month. Really great show if you're looking to get started on YouTube, or maybe you're already on YouTube and looking to improve. They give super actionable feedback on specific channels where they'll walk through things like how you should think about thumbnails, how often to post videos, how to incorporate live streaming and uploaded videos. So it's definitely a great show. We have Enhance Your Live Streaming the last Tuesday of every month with Nick Nimmin, definitely a live streaming pro with great advice when it comes to live streaming and everything YouTube and video in general. So be sure to check that out. We have live stream reviews the first and third Saturday at noon PST with Christian and Charles. It's a fun show where they do a live stream where they do give live feedback on other live shows. And then for anything else, any other questions, we have open office hours, 11 a.m. Eastern, Tuesday, the first and third week with Julie and Mel. And if you've missed, I think we've been doing it for a bit now, but if you've missed the last few weeks, we've started doing fun facts so that we get to know a bit more about all of you, and you can get to know some fun stuff about us. So this week we had fun fact, favorite cereal box character. Kind of a random one, but I think it's
cool. I like the random ones. They're fun. Cereal box character. So there's not too many to choose from, I would say. I think mine's Tony the Tiger. Yeah. I don't think any of the other ones are even close. How about you?
Yes, Tony the Tiger is definitely a very memorable one. I always like the Toucan from Fruit Loops, Sam. The
Toucan Sam.
They're all pretty good though. There's lots of memorable ones in there.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Lots of questions. So Packer Dude is asking about. Hopefully, Packer Dude. He's asking about what this show's about. Hopefully, the beginning gave you a sense, but I see Kurt also gave some context. Appreciate that, Kurt. King Pokey Nation says, "How about a scoreboard for play-by-play?" That's definitely come up a few times. Alvarez, especially folks doing. Well, I mean, I'm trying to think if there's another type where you'd have a scoreboard, especially sports shows, but maybe only sports shows. So yeah, it's something we've thought about how we can sort of incorporate dynamic content into streams. I don't have any specific dates or anything or what might happen there, but it's something we're continuing to think about and explore.
Yep.
Emedia Hosting says, "Hey guys, any news on when we'll be able to embed live streams directly on a website without having to embed a YouTube stream?" That's a good question, Emedia. So we do have the feature for static video or post after the stream's over, like the VOD or video on demand. You can actually embed those directly on your website. Any thoughts on the other part of the question, Dan?
Cool. Yeah, I would say we're open to it. It's not something we obviously have today, but yeah, I think it's cool. And always curious, what would be the use case? Like, why would you want to, like, basically, why don't you want to use YouTube? What's kind of the problem there? And I'm aware of some of the challenges, but I'm curious for you specifically, why would you want that? But yeah, open to that.
Cool. We have WZYE TV says, when will the upload of videos be increased? Any thoughts on that one, Dan?
Yeah, I guess So I assume you're talking about video clips. If not, let me know. Like in the brand tab, the video clips section, if it's, but I'd be curious, is it like the 10-minute limit? Is it the size limit? Which one of those? And then also, what would you like it increased to? And is there a reason that the video sharing feature at the bottom, just like, when you click the share button and you go to share a like kind of screen share, you can also share a video. Does that not work for you? That's usually what we recommend if you need a very long video, because you can upload. Well, it doesn't even upload it. It just kind of streams it from your computer. So you can have any length, any file size. But yeah, maybe there's a reason you can't use that. So let me know.
Cool. Sandra says, I need to update your intro. So many changes. It's outdated. We are actually working on, Noah's going to help us with a new intro. So I agree, Sandra. Appreciate the feedback.
Yeah.
Cleric says, any plans to allow us the option to enter a pre-recorded stream so that we can showcase and highlight viewer comments? So yeah, right now, Cleric, it's just the ability to stream it out and only the comment. Obviously, you can participate on the viewing side and comment back and forth with viewers. We certainly want to give more functionality around pre-recorded streams. So we're definitely open to it. If there's anything in addition to comments you'd like to see beyond just showing them on screen, would be curious to know. Any other thoughts on that one, Dan?
I don't think so.
Josh says, are there any updates on the process of a possible added feature to pause and restart broadcast in record only mode? That was actually one of the topics we had for tonight, Josh. So let me quickly get to the first one we had here, or the first couple we had. So one was the Facebook challenge. I think it's the second one we've ever done. Julie ran a Facebook challenge to help getting started with StreamYard. If any of you happen to participate in that, I would be curious what you thought of it, if it's something you'd like to see more of in the future and maybe different types of them. And we also recently posted our February assets. So every month, the marketing team has been putting together things like countdown timers and overlays and backgrounds that are for the particular month. So like February, there'll probably be some Valentine. I still need to look at them. I think there'll probably be some Valentine's Day stuff and things like that. So check those out. You can find those in the StreamYard Facebook group. So if you just type in StreamYard official community in Facebook, it should pop right up. And then the other one we had, in case, well, we mentioned it last time, but it wasn't out yet, which is multiple cameras. So multiple cameras actually just when did it go live, Dan? It just went live towards the end of last week? Midweek last week?
Yep.
Do you want to walk people through what that is and how it works?
Cool. Yeah, and we will get to the question about recording. That is on Geige's list to come up soon. But yes, for multiple cameras, for anyone that wasn't here last week or hasn't tried it out yet, we basically have the ability now to share a second camera from within StreamYard. So the use case here is maybe you're painting or you're working on crafts or something like that, and you want to have a second camera pointed at that thing and then one pointed at you and have them both on the screen at the same time. That is now possible from within the studio. And I find the other common use case is you're just in person and maybe you want two different camera angles, whether you're at an event or something, or even just in your own office, and you just have two cameras and you want to kind of switch between them nicely. That is now much easier to do. So that rolled out, midweek last week, as we mentioned.
Cool. And Daniel asks, will guests eventually be able to add an extra camera as well? So right now the multi-camera is just for hosts, right, Dan?
Correct. Yeah, host and co-host. Yeah, I would say open to it.
So one thing, Daniel, if you're not already aware, pretty easy workaround for that is if you are comfortable with your guest being a co-host of the show and doing things like showing comments and banners, you could add them invite them to your team and make them a co-host, and then they would be able to use the feature as well.
Yep.
All right. David's asking when the multi-webcam is coming. So it is out now, David.
Yep. Yeah, it's just at the bottom when you go to screen share, like when you want to share a video. And one thing, we mentioned this last week, but just to mention again, it is only on the Pro plan at the moment. So bottom of the screen, click the share button. You'll see the option for extra camera. That's how you turn it on.
Jordan says, how about a button that will show the on-screen numbers of all people watching from the different streaming locations? So you can actually, it sounds like you're asking for viewers, Jordan, but for people that don't know, you can actually see yourself how many people are watching on each location if you just hover over. A lot of people don't know that actually, because it just shows the total number in the top left, but if you hover your mouse over it, it'll actually show you how many people are watching from, say, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're sharing from. You can see that breakdown. In terms of adding it on screen, appreciate the suggestion. And yeah, we can think about trying to think if there would be an alternative for you to do, but it would be difficult to set something like that up. So appreciate the feedback.
Cool. Yeah, and also be curious for anyone else watching if that's something you'd be interested in, is like permanently showing the viewer count in the actual video itself for everyone watching. Obviously on the platform that they're on, like if you have, say you're streaming to Facebook and YouTube, if someone's on Facebook, they'll already see the viewer count there, but they won't know what it is for YouTube.
El Michelle says, will we be able to upload our own music to background music? So yeah, that came up a bunch last time or last couple shows, Michelle. It's definitely something that we're thinking about. The only reason we didn't immediately allow that is we want to be careful about copyright and make sure that we make it where people are aware that they need to be careful what types of music they share or their stream might get taken down. So that's why we just started with some preloaded tracks that we actually had people create so that you'd be able to use them. But it's definitely something we want to add. Just want to make sure that we do it in a careful way where people can hopefully avoid the mistake of sharing copyright stuff.
Yes.
Kesis says, question, looping videos we share from our PCs. So right now you can upload videos in the video clips section, but they do not loop. The other option would be a GIF overlay. Those do actually loop. But yeah, it has come up before, especially for maybe like if you're going to be away for a while and having something that just plays. Do you have any thoughts on that one, Dan?
Yeah, I guess I'm just interested what you're hoping to achieve with it. Like what kind of thing you're hoping to loop? Is it something that's audio? Like, does it have audio? Is it just the video? Is it an intro video? Just kind of curious how you're using that.
Cool. Jeff says, question, can you make the background music volume lockable? It always goes back to 50% after every broadcast. Appreciate the feedback there.
Cool.
Jeff,
yeah, we should make it lockable if it's not already.
Cool. So stay tuned, Jeff. If they haven't already changed that, we will make that change. Sci-Fi says, have there been any discussions about integrating StreamYard as a feed into OBS? So we haven't talked too much about that, Sci-Fi. I don't think it's come up too much on this town hall. I mean, one way you could do it, you could always screen share what you're doing in StreamYard in OBS or something like that. But most people are generally just using StreamYard and sending that out to social media rather than going back into OBS. So would be curious what types of things you'd want to accomplish with that and how you'd want it to work.
Yep.
Some questions around, will the extra camera option be available on the basic plan? So right now, Stuart, it's just the professional plan. Don't know if it'll always be on the pro plan. We just wanted to initially roll it out there. So stay tuned. Right now, it's just on the professional plan. David says, oh, snap, I'll have to use it. Awesome. Yeah, let us know what you think, David. Mima says, question, is the essential plan for Black Friday the same as the basic plan? No, the essential plan is a different plan. Mima, it has a lot of the basic plan features, with the main difference being you still have the StreamYard logo in your stream, but you can have your own logo next to it. Fulton says, hey, Geige and Dan, I have great news. I got an email from America's Got Talent virtual audition, and I'm waiting for an answer from the producer in early spring. Well, congrats.
Cool.
Fulton, were you discovered from a live stream that you did? That's awesome. Cool. Let's see what else we had here.
I'm also curious what your content is about.
Yes, let us know. Sebastian says, can I point my second camera to your top secret meeting so I can leak the scoop? If you can figure out how to get it in, sure. All right. Another topic we had for tonight was, if you have, we sort of brought it up before, but if there's any feedback you have on some of the recent features, and just to remind folks who missed them. So any feedback on background music, which recently came out, collapsible brands, which is just the ability to hide things in the branding section, or any of the new backgrounds, would be great to hear about those, and let us know if there's anything you'd like to see changed.
Cool. And the new backgrounds, just for anyone who's not sure what we're talking about, if you're in the brand tab on StreamYard and you click the upload button for backgrounds, there's now a whole bunch of cool examples you can add to your stream, so you don't have to necessarily build your own.
Packer says, I noticed when I tried to delete a message from a troll on my first live, it only gave me the option to time them out or block them. Could you guys look into that, please?
Cool. Yeah, I do think if you block them, it also deletes all their messages.
I believe they all become hidden. You might want to check if you want, you can either test it yourself, or if you go to StreamYard.com/contact, support can make sure you have the exact answer Packer did. But yeah, we could clarify that as well, that's what happens.
But open to maybe having one to delete just a single comment as well.
Simone says, can you partner with music services like Soundstripe or Epidemic Sound? Customers can use the music they pay for. Yeah, that's a great suggestion, Simone. Certainly something we're open to. It is sometimes a bit complicated in terms of like how you're allowed to use that music. Like even if you have subscription, there's sometimes, you can use it in certain projects, but maybe not on social media. But yeah, we definitely love to make it as easy as possible to use as much music as possible. All right. Kisa says, do you plan on adding private chats not viewable to all guests and hosts alike, but to be read by only intended people?
I see, so like messaging specific people in private chat.
Yeah.
Do you think that's what you mean?
I think so.
Okay. So yeah, that's something we're open to. I mean, obviously right now we've just kind of kept it simple. There's just one chat, but yeah, I could see us maybe adding something like that. And then let me know, like, is it you just want to message one person? Is it you want to have like kind of a group message environment?
Cool. See quite a few more comments on the background music not having the ability to upload tracks. It is coming. Like so stay tuned on that. It is something we want to add. Just the initial version just had the preloaded tracks.
Yep.
Hank says, is it possible to have a sound meter in the studio? Do you have any thoughts on that one, Dan?
So yeah, I assume you mean like something to kind of see the sound of everything, just to basically be able to compare them. Let me know if that's not the case. It is possible. Obviously, we don't have it now, but we are open to something like that. And is the main use case you just want to make sure your mic volume is kind of aligned with everyone else's? Let us know.
Hiroshi says, question, is there any plan to expand the multiple camera feature to smartphone apps like Ivy Cam with USB connection and NDI camera? It's a good question, Hiroshi. So for right now, the multicam feature is just USB. Well, I guess not necessarily USB. Any type of camera that your computer is able to recognize is what will show up in the dropdown there. We do know there's lots of folks that like to use their mobile phones as a second source. Like right now, the only option for that is to join as a guest and essentially do a multiple cam that way. But we are interested in offering additional types of support, like you mentioned. So maybe in the future, stay tuned.
Yep.
All right. Sci-Fi says, follow up, the multi-participant layouts have more options than Zoom. We use the dial and guest for interviews. SY would give us other resources for interviews. Thanks for the clarification there, Sci-Fi. David says, love all that you've added. I would still like to have a placement in the top left or right, similar to a newscast. Appreciate the feedback there, David.
And just to confirm, David, is that like a layout? A placement in the top right or left, similar to a newscast. Yeah, maybe let us know exactly what you mean there.
Marissa says, love the new backgrounds. Haven't used them yet, but it gives good examples during prospecting calls. Awesome. Happy to hear that. Marissa. Cleric says, I'm loving the collapsible features and the new backgrounds. Really cool. Thank you. Awesome. Happy to hear that. Marina says, I wanted to use second camera option phone instead of laptop's cam, but it had no audio. How to use laptop audio without video avatar again, please? Want to take that one, Dan?
I wanted to use second camera option instead of laptop cam, but it had no audio.
So specifically, the second part of your question in terms of how to not have the avatars. There's a setting, if you click settings in the studio and go to general, there's an option to disable or enable audio avatars. In terms of the audio question, if you're using your phone instead of the laptop's camera, if the phone didn't have an audio source, it's just going to use whatever audio source is connected to the phone. So that's if you reach out to StreamYard.com/contact, they can help you look into it. But that would be my best bet. Is just your phone maybe didn't have an audio source connected to it.
Yeah, it's tricky because the second camera or the extra camera feature, multiple camera feature we're talking about, is like you're in the studio on StreamYard and you can just add 2 cameras without having other tabs open or other devices or anything. If you have another phone, that's almost like that's something we've kind of always supported. But yeah, it should have audio by default, that one.
Cool. Zev says, I like the new background option, but can StreamYard place a plus to choose your color? Yeah, that's a cool suggestion, Zev. It is something we talked about briefly, is being able to sort of use the theme color. So definitely something that we're open to doing.
Cool.
Gary says the new backgrounds and collapse features are beneficial as a remote producer. Awesome, Gary. Happy to hear that.
Yeah, I've been a big fan of that one.
All right. We did ask this one, actually, just to make sure we don't run out of time. I know it came up earlier in the stream. So recording controls. So that came up at the beginning. So curious what exactly folks need here. So it's come up quite a bit in terms of when you're doing a record-only broadcast in StreamYard, having a bit more functionality and control in terms of like, hey, maybe I want to pause for a second and then start recording again. So curious beyond maybe pausing and restarting or deleting the video in general and just sort of starting from scratch, what types of functionality that would be beneficial to you when it comes to not streaming out live to social, but just doing a record only broadcast would be really helpful for us to know.
Yeah, and specifically interested sometimes we hear, I'd like to pause it, I'd like to restart it. Is there any of those that really stand out to you? Like, oh no, I really just want to restart because I need to do multiple takes without having to use a new guest link every time? Or is it like, yeah, you do want to pause, do something else, come back, continue? Let us know.
Cool. Mikey says, is it possible for an off-screen voice to be added to a broadcast without a person or their avatar being seen on screen? So yeah, that's sort of what we were alluding to earlier, Mikey. In that same setting I mentioned, if you go into general, the audio avatars, if you have audio avatars off, all the person has to do is turn their camera off. And if they're added to the broadcast, nobody will know they're there unless they actually talk. So it should do exactly what you need.
Yep. So just enter the studio, click the settings button, turn off the audio avatar setting.
All right. Valdemar says, when is auto spotlight feature coming? Because I've been waiting for that feature, like Google Hangouts and Zoom. It's a good question, Valdemar. Yeah, that came out a lot in sort of when Hangouts on Air was going away. You have any thoughts on that one, Dan?
Yeah, I would say we're still interested in it, especially if a bunch of users would really love to see that.
So yeah, if anyone else,
we're open to it. Yeah, it's just a matter of prioritizing it against other things.
Cool. I want to make sure we don't run out of time here. Should we go ahead and do the giveaway, Dan?
We should.
All right. So if this is your first time here, we've been doing giveaways every single Sunday. So tonight we'll be giving away the StreamYard hoodie, and that pillow that Dan has in the background. To be eligible, all you have to do is type in #TheYard wherever you're watching from, and you will be entered. And if you're curious to do, or not curious, if you'd like to do your own giveaway and you're interested in using this tool, we've actually made it available. So if you go to StreamYard.com/giveaway, you can share your screen of the tool and run these giveaways in your own broadcasts. So yeah, we'll give you 10, 15 seconds to get your #TheYards in. Let's see what else we have here. All right. Is it still going up, Dan?
It is, yeah. Just as a note, this is the link Geige is referring to. So if you want to do your own giveaway, that's the link.
All right. Emedia says, Are the comments brought in from YouTube top chat or live chat? Top chat leaves some messages out, but is the default setting when you first start watching a stream. I always switch to live chat. It's a great question, Emedia. I'm not actually 100% sure. Do you know, Dan?
I think it's just live chat.
So hopefully that helps.
Yep.
Emedia.
I believe. I'm also not entirely sure if this comments that we pull through the YouTube API are exactly the same as the ones that are shown on YouTube, or if there is some difference, like if it's kind of a hybrid between top and live, but I think it's essentially a live chat.
Jeff says, is it possible to move banners and tickers to other locations on screen? No, Jeff, you have different themes to choose between. It doesn't allow you to move to different locations, but it changes the size and shape and sort of what they look like. Would be curious how you think about banners and tickers versus overlays, like if you and how you'd want to be able to move them. Is it the type of thing you just want to be able to drag and drop them anywhere on the screen? Would you rather us just give more options in terms of where they could be placed? It'd be good to know.
Yep. Also curious where you'd want to put them. Like if you do want to move them, is it the top? Is it a certain place? Cool. I think we're good. Sorry, right, what did you say was in the draw? Hoodie and the pillow?
Hoodie and the pillow. Yeah.
Cool. Good luck, everyone.
Liz Wool, congrats. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. It's cool that you're from LinkedIn. I think that might be one of the first times someone won from LinkedIn. If you email contact@streamyard.com, Dana will coordinate with you to get your info and your prize shipped. But yeah, again, thanks so much for tuning in tonight and congrats.
Cool. Congrats.
Dave says, question, is there a video showing how the new multi-camera function works? I've had a multi-action button set up on my Stream Deck before. There's definitely a help article for it.
Yep.
If Dana, if you're in the live chat, if you wouldn't mind linking it, that would be awesome. Do you know if there's a video associated with it as well?
I don't think so, but we could always shoot one if that's useful.
If there's not one now, Dave will likely make one in the future, but the doc itself is pretty comprehensive.
Yep.
Right now, there's not a hotkey for it though, right, Dan? Like you can't bind. Oh, there is a hotkey.
To start it.
Cool. Good to know.
Yeah, we may add more functionality for kind of switching between them dynamically. Obviously, you can change layouts though, so that could potentially work for you.
Awesome. Jim says, any plans to add the ability to have an HLS destination? So that's similar, Jim, to the question that came up before when I can't remember exactly how it was phrased, but streaming, embedding the stream where it's not YouTube. So yeah, definitely something we're open to. Again, we have the ability to embed the VODs, not the live streams. I would be curious what types of stuff you'd be doing, if it'd be like webinars or just like what exactly the types of content, but it's definitely something we're open to.
Yep.
Sebastian says, can we please have per broadcast level co-host permissions so we can give full access for some broadcasts, but limited to others? Also sortable broadcast list, please. So for the second part of that, Sebastian, we are working on more options when it comes to the dashboard in terms of sort by creation or started, or not started, but
planned start date.
Yeah, exactly. That is on the list. Do you want to speak to the first one, Dan?
Yeah, that is something we're open to. I definitely get the need for it. I'm not sure if there's anything added besides that we're already interested in that or thinking about ways to make that work.
Cool. We certainly appreciate that, Ryan. That's super kind of you. All right. Looks like there was quite a few questions. I remember a lot of them were hashtag the yards. So if we didn't get to your question tonight, we appreciate you being here. We'll do our best to get to them next time. This was episode 161 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. We'll see you guys next week at the same time. Thanks so much for hanging out with us.
Awesome. See you next week, everyone.